This is No Sports, Day 58. There's only one thing on my mind tonight, and for as much as everybody is caught up in the present and the future, in terms of not only how do we survive this right now, but how do we get past coronavirus looking forward, my thoughts are actually in reverse. For the first time in a long time, I really do feel like it's easy to forget at this point, how the hell did we get here? I'm asking that question, and I think I do know some of the answers, but I don't know that any of us have really grasped the bigger picture. So I don't think that we could have escaped coronavirus completely. If you're thinking that, it's a bit shallow, right? That's a bit isolated to think that we would be the only country in the world completely unaffected. We could not have avoided this entirely, no doubt. But with that established, I think we look back now and entirely understand that we could and should have done so many more things, so that right now we're not in such a dire situation. There's different levels of the pool, right? There's the shallow end, there's the part you can stand up in, and then there's the deep end. And I really feel like we are in the deep end right now. Also looking back, in sports, everybody wants to point the finger. And I'm not sure if that's applicable here in real life situations, but in sports, everybody goes for the player or the coach or the front office or the umpires or referees or official. Somebody's got to be blamed. It was somebody's fault. And I'm wondering here in a pandemic, if blame is the right thing, potentially, but most importantly, it's the lesson learned from this so that no generation of society, again, moving forward, has to go through it as bad as we are. And scary and sad to say, we're not the first. We'd like to be the last. Certainly the last probably thought they were the last. They weren't. So again, not necessarily that pointing the finger or blame is going to fix things, but potentially the opportunity to prevent another similar occurrence. And look, I think a lot of people worry right now, they're going through this. Is there going to be a second wave of this? Will there be something else similar to this? We found out just how vulnerable our entire world was so quickly. But at the same respect, you want to talk about blame and what could we have done differently? Who should we point the finger at? In reverse, how did none of us really see this coming? I mean, it didn't just start up in the world a couple hours or a couple days or even a couple weeks prior to the United States going through it. It came up months in advance. And I'm not here to say that we didn't take it seriously, but we obviously didn't do as much as possible to prepare for it. And sometimes, like any natural disaster, you say that, well, if I only had some time to prepare, we could have handled it better. That's why people say earthquakes are terrible. You don't know it's happening until it's actually happening. There are other natural disasters that give you some lead time, and hopefully you can do a better job to evade it. But there was plenty of opportunity, and I'm not even pointing the finger here. I blame myself. I guess I didn't take this as serious as I should. Is that because we feel so isolated from the rest of the world? We feel like we live on an island that just has this invisible, barrier of problems that doesn't come our way? Do we really feel that like that? That's not responsible. That's not healthy. Certainly not. It's not prudent. And on that note, I think a lot of people have heard what I've said here already, and they're thinking, from political ramifications, what does this mean? Or maybe you think I'm adding fuel to your partisan fire. That's not it at all. Coronavirus does not know political preference and go after a certain one. Okay, I'm just saying, of all the people in charge, of all the people in important positions, who really protected us well? Who had a great foresight on this? Who made some great decisions in the moment? There have been some, don't get me wrong, but wholesale, there haven't been a ton of total clutch maneuvers that humans made, with the exception of staying at home and shutting things down. But that's kind of a Hail Mary desperation move. It works, but what's the price for that? So again, I will stop short of making this political at all. I really hope you didn't take that away. Some people are, and I can't stop you anyway. You were going to do that anyway. But I just know that I will be fascinated by how this all started for years to come. I'll be fascinated with the days and weeks leading up to what I think was March 11th. 3/11 was the night where it all hit us. The NBA shut down, Tom Hanks testing positive, and the United States travel ban to Europe, all happening within a couple hours of each other. And all those things, that trilogy of things made everybody realize, this is for real. This has come to us. So I'll go back and I'll probably, remember the feelings and how I felt in the days prior to then. And, what should we have done differently? What should we have done even differently in the immediate days after March 11th? So again, how did we get here? I think I know most of it right now, but it might take days, weeks, and months in the future to realize more of it in reverse. I also want to make one other point, is getting back to normal. It is the analogy of getting sick and then getting better, just like, hopefully for many, coronavirus. You get sick over time, and the symptoms come on, and before you know it, you might be in rough shape. But at the same respect, for all those who have recovered, I don't know that it's an instant process. In the same way that we're all looking to recover as a society, I don't think it's an instant process. I don't think you're going to get an all clear one day. It's not going to happen. There might even be a vaccine, but even then, I'm not sure that indicates all clear overnight. When you get sick, it takes a couple days, or however long in this case for society. But it takes a period of time where people ask you, how you feeling? 50%. How you feeling? 70%. How you feeling? 80%, 85, 90. And then by the time that people stop asking you, how are you feeling, you haven't even realized yet, you're back to 100%. So I think that's what's going to happen to society. By the time we feel better, by the time we have resumed to mostly normal, we won't even realize it because, number one, we'll get so accustomed to this new normal, but also because it's fully going to take a while. So not to be pessimistic, not to be negative about it, because I am suggesting we're going to get better. It's just that you may not notice it overnight. And that's fine too. So that does it here for No Sports, Day 58.